Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you what's going on with this controller. As you can see, it's a Xbox One wired controller. It's got caps on it, extender caps. That shouldn't affect anything. As you can see, I've got the properties selected. You can't have the controller properties and the game working at the same time. It's whichever one is on focus. So I'm going to go through the controller properties first. And as you can see, just moving the stick shows that the controller moves. I mean, it's linear. There's no spiking. There's no dead bands. I mean, it's just a functional Xbox One controller. So I'm going to turn these off and go back to the game here. First thing that I thought was maybe it's a deadband issue. So if you go into the controller settings, you can see that there is no dead bands. You have low and high dead bands. They don't seem to do much, and it's a horrible way to do dead bands. The whole point of a dead band is to increase it so that the stick's spiking on center goes away. So increasing a dead band past where it's spiking is completely pointless and ruins your gameplay. So you would need a slider here that knocks out the raw input up to a point. Not low, not high. The dead banding is dumb. The way they've got it set up is just horrible. But that's beside the point. You can see that I don't have dead banding. The sensitivity, all this is default, I believe. These are look sensitivities. So that's all just going to be this stick over here. So there's not an issue conflicting there. There's no other, nothing else is on. This is just showing you the scheme, and you can obviously turn the controller off or on. But there's no dead band. That's the whole point. So going back to the game here, I'm going to show you the problem that I'm having with this. Is, as you can see, if you watch the tires, you've got to move the stick more than halfway before the tires even really move. And then once you get to like 80%, you've got all of your stick throw into the tires right there. That's right there is all of your tire movement in that little bit of movement on the stick. And then once you get past that, you've got a little bit of to play with, but I mean, this is set up as if it was a digital on or off switch. You can't drive like this. I'm hoping this is something that's just on my controller or my setup, or there's something in the INI files. Because you can't drive like this. If you use the keyboard, as you can see, the tires move in a linear fashion. It increases input the longer you hold the keyboard. You can drive smoother using the keyboard by just tapping it to hold the tires where you want them to be. You can't even drive that way here because you've got such fine movement. There's no way you can hold half of this while you're chasing down a bad guy. Look at how little movement the stick is versus how much movement the tires are. That's ridiculous. And you can see it when you're driving. Like, it just doesn't turn. And then it turns too much. Trying to make a turn like this, then all the way over and then back. It's easier to just drop it and go with the keyboard. Just tapping it. So there's the problem I'm having. I hope that it's something on my end and it's not been programmed this way, because otherwise, I mean, you can't play this way. The helicopters do the same thing. The planes do the same thing. The boats do the same thing. Even on foot is the same way. If I would have picked this up for the console and this was how the controls were for the console, I would return it. I mean, there would be no physical way that I could play the game like this. Luckily, it's on the PC, and I can at least use my keyboard and mouse, you know? And I'm hoping that it is just an issue for the PC, and maybe even just an issue for, like, this particular Xbox One style controller. I have an Xbox 360 controller I haven't tried. Maybe I should do that, but it just feels like there's a massive deadband going on here, and then there's some sort of curve scaling that they've got it just like ramps up really fast, and since you can't adjust any of the curves or anything, it makes it unplayable. So there's that. Let me know if it's just me. Hopefully it is.